In the first video, we talked about 3 different stories of people who died in the strangest ways, and this video is no different, from death by a Taco Bell sign to death in a porta potty. We'll be covering 3 more stories of people who died in the oddest ways you could think of. On July 3, 2024, a local mechanic, Abul Fazl Amiri, was working on a Boeing 737 after it landed at Chabahar Konarak International Airport in southern Iran. As part of regular aircraft checks, the right engine was turned on to check if it was operating at optimal levels. The protective covers over the turbines were removed, and the stationary plane revved up its engine. Amiri reportedly left a tool on the engine and returned to grab it, but the spinning turbine's pull immediately sucked him inside the engine. When jet turbines are tested on the ground, a small safety zone is mandated as proper protocol to prevent such accidents. Reports indicated that this zone was set up, but Amiri went past it. Boeing 737 engines are capable of up to 15,000 rotations per minute, and Amiri stood no chance. Needless to say, he died instantly as his body was chopped up by the spinning turbine. His corpse caused the engine to catch fire, but the fire brigade quickly came to put it out. Amiri's remains were then removed from the plane. On April 3, 2009, Diana Duray and her husband went to meet up with a couple to sell them a dog. They agreed to meet in North Platte, Nebraska, right underneath the big Taco Bell sign where they would carry out the exchange. Rampant winds were surging through North Platte on that particular day, and tragically, the 75-foot sign that towered above them failed to withstand the force. At around 1 p.m., the pole that the sign was mounted on snapped in half around 15 feet above the ground, causing the sign to fall down and smash onto their vehicle as the two were waiting inside the car. Diana was crushed to death beneath the Taco Bell sign, and by the time the couple arrived on the scene, it was clear that nothing could be done for her. The idea of a massive sign that's been reinforced by metal and bolts being toppled over by wind seems unlikely, but it happened. The winds that day reached up to 40 miles per hour, and despite the fact that the sign had only been up 10 years prior to the incident, it proved to be too great of an elemental force. Diana was announced dead by paramedics on the scene, but thankfully her husband and the dog she had with her sustained no serious injuries. Aaron Henderson was working at the North Central landfill in Winter Haven, Florida. He was hired to work there only a few weeks prior, and he was excited to have a job he enjoyed. The 40-year-old was a family man and a father to 3. Having faced tough situations growing up, his life was heading in a better direction. But sadly, Aaron never made it home from work one day. On Friday, March 4, 2022, he was wrapping up his shift directing dump trucks in and out of the landfill. Around 5 p.m., he went to use the bathroom in a porta potty on the landfill site. At the same time, his coworker, 56-year-old John Johnson, was driving a bulldozer to park it for the night. The driver had been driving his rig up an embankment at the time, but his view was supposedly obstructed because the front blade was elevated. As the driver reached level ground and turned the bulldozer, he plowed over the porta potty. He immediately exited the bulldozer and ran towards the porta potty to see if anyone was inside of it. He found Henderson unresponsive, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. The autopsy revealed Henderson experienced blunt force trauma throughout his body as a result of the bulldozer hitting the porta potty. The medical examiner listed lacerations, contusions, abrasions, and skeletal fractures as some of the injuries Henderson suffered leading to his death. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more like this, or if you have a specific story you'd like me to cover, let me know in the comments.